before you can decide how you would like to structure your content, you need to think about your consumers' content consumption tolerance. So what does that mean? That means depending on your target market, some target markets can consume a lot of content before getting tired. Some target markets cannot consume a lot of content. For example, if you are providing a course to 19-year-olds and they are sitting there to study some pieces of content that can help them to build a business, they are in a place that they can consume 20, 30, 40 minutes of content as long as the content is engaging. However, if you're producing the content for moms of newborns, you don't want to create a 40-minute piece of content because that mom generally doesn't have 40 minutes straight to sit there and study a course. So what they want to study the course in 3-minute sections. So while they are doing certain things, they can consume the content and they can move on. Also, deciding on the target market allows you to decide the type of the course content that you would like to provide to them. For example, if the way that you're providing the course is to the target market that can sit somewhere, get a pen and paper, and can take notes, you may provide them videos, or you may provide them documents and templates that they can fill in. But if you're providing the course to a person who is going to study the course while driving, you want to make sure that you're not giving them workbooks that while they are driving, they are filling in. So in that case, you want to give them more audio files as opposed to video files or workbooks. So depending on the target market, you're going to decide what's their content consumption tolerance, and based on their content consumption tolerance, you will decide on the length of the course, and based on the target market and where they are going to study the course, you can decide on the format of the course, whether it's a video or audio or PDFs or templates or workbooks or anything else like that. Now, let me tell you another piece to that. Sometimes people get really worried about creating courses in 7-minute or 3-minute or 2-minute sections. And there's a lot of misconception out there that people like to consume short content, but that's not necessarily true. What people want is content that enables them to take action. So one of my courses, it's 8 weekly classes, and every week it's about 2 hours. And we begin the class with almost the same number that we end the class. And every single week, the students show up, they attend the entire class, they go through the entire course, they take notes, and they go to the next week. At the end of every week, they get also homework. They get that homework done, they submit it to our Facebook group, and they get feedback. So don't get really hang up on this idea that all your course content needs to be short, because many times while you are creating an online course, you decide to teach that online course live. And if you're teaching that online course live, and this is live online, then the length of the course can be much longer. And as long as you're creating a course that's very engaging, people will like to stay to the very end because they want to get the homework, they want to get it done, and they want to get results. What's the structure of a regular online course? The structure of a regular online course is divided to this format. Usually, they look like a tree, and in this tree, the root of it is called the chapter or modules. And under each chapter and module, we have lessons. And these lessons can be videos, audios, PDFs, documents, templates, PowerPoint presentations, and so many other things. And then each chapter will have homework. Now we're going to talk about how to decide how many lessons with what type of format you need to put in every chapter in just a few minutes. But generally, you want to make sure that the online course that you create has anywhere between 4 to 8 chapters. So if you are creating a course that you feel that course requires to have 250 chapters, it's not the best idea to have the whole thing as one course. So it's best that you divide that course to smaller courses so people can study each course separately and feel that they are accomplishing something. Because if you are giving a person like 25 chapters and it's going to take them a year to study 25 chapters, they get bored and they feel like this is a never-ending course. So usually what you want to do, you want to have the course between 4 to 8 chapters. And you want to make sure that whatever you put in a chapter can be done or studied in a week. So when people are buying a 6-week course, they can study it in, they're buying a 6-module course, they can study it in 6 weeks. And that will help the person a lot with feeling accomplished and wanting to study your next course. That will also enable you to be able to generate more income because now you have cheaper courses or you have smaller courses and people are buying more and more courses from you on a regular basis because they finish one course and they're like, okay, now I want to go and buy the next course. Okay? Now, if you want to also offer this course as a one price for multiple courses together as a package, you can definitely do it that way as well. So you will give more value with one offer, which is again is a great way of doing this. The way that you design an actionable course is based on homework. So the way that you think about this is that what's the final result that I want this person to have from my course? So the way that you're thinking about this is based on the homeworks. And what you want to do is you want to get the final result and divide it to anywhere between 4 to 8 homeworks. And you want to teach people at every week one module, and you want to include enough lessons that they can just do that homework. The purpose of these type of courses is to be able to get the work done, not to learn all the theory behind the theory behind the theory of how to get one homework done. Why? Because you want the person to get results. You don't want them to master these things to go and teach them later on. If that's your goal, then you can create bigger courses for future. But if your purpose is for the person to take action for themselves to be able to do this, you divide this based on actionable items. You divide them based on week, and you only teach them enough lessons and give them enough material to be able to get that one homework done. So the course will be, if it's an 8-week course, then it will be 8 modules. If it's a 6-week course, it will be 6 modules. If it's a 4-week course, it's 4 modules. And every module will have 1 or 2 main homeworks. And you want to make sure that that homework can be done in about 4 hours or 3 hours, and or depending on your target market, whatever amount of hours that they can dedicate. If you don't know that, you have to talk to your target market before starting creating your course. So don't make this mistake of creating a course without having conversations with the target market first. You definitely want to have conversations with the target market, and the best way of having that conversation again is Iman 8 golden question, which you can learn that in Ultimate Course Formula. And you can get the Ultimate Course Formula ebook from Kindle for $1, or you can buy the book version of it for $20 on Amazon. But anyway, so that's something you want to do. You want to always have conversation with the customers first to be able to understand what they are looking for. And you want to make sure that you divide the structure of your course based on the modules. Every module will have lessons. Lessons will be the audio files and video files and the PDFs and the templates and everything. That will help the person to just get that one homework done. When they get that homework done, Then they'll go to the next module, they study, and they get access to all the content they need to be able to get that homework done. And then you move forward with the whole thing. So I'm excited to be able to see your course when you are designing your course, and I can't wait to hear about your course. If you want, you can go below and comment for us about the course that you are creating and tell us what your plan is and who your target market is. And I'd love to hear more about how you are planning to create an online course, help a lot of people, and generate a lot of money for yourself.